Welcome to our deep dive into the Bajaj Finserv annual report for 2023-24.
Excited to be here.
We're going to be dissecting their performance, really looking at key areas like lending,
Insurance.
wealth management, right? We're going to get into the nitty-gritty, those numbers.
Absolutely. We're going to be looking at all sorts of things like revenue trends and profit and, of course, loan book growth. That's a big one for them.
Definitely. And how they're handling things like risk management and really stepping into the digital age. Are they really embracing it?
Are they keeping up with the times? That's what we want to find out.
So let's just jump right in, shall we?
Let's do it.
First up, lending their bread and butter.
Right? Bajaj Finance Ltd, that's BFL.
EFL.
They're a powerhouse.
They're a major player, and their AUM, that's assets under management,
Right?
has crossed, get this, 90,000 crore.
Wow.
But here's the really interesting thing.
What's that?
Over the past 6 years, they've brought in a huge number of customers, I mean millions, 23.6 million to be exact, into the world of credit for the first time.
These are new-to-credit customers. Think about that.
New to credit.
That's like the entire population of Australia just suddenly borrowers.
That's mind-blowing.
It is. It really highlights their, aggressive growth strategy, particularly when you look at the microfinance segment.
Right.
They've been expanding their branch network like crazy just in FY 2024 alone.
100 new branches.
100 new branches, and a lot of them, in rural areas.
So they're really tapping into, a market that's been underserved.
Absolutely. There's a huge potential there.
And it shows that they're not just about the bottom line. They're actually playing a really important role in financial inclusion.
They're making a difference.
Okay, let's talk insurance.
All right, let's do it.
Bajaj Finserv has two really big players here.
Two powerhouses.
You got Bajaj Allianz General Insurance Company, that's BAGIC, and then you have Bajaj Allianz Life Insurance Company, or BALISAC.
And you know what? FY 2024 was a really good year for insurance in India.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the post-pandemic recovery, and then the IRDAI, that's the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, they made some positive changes.
And the watchdog, right?
Exactly. So it created a really good environment for growth.
And BAGs, they really took advantage of that.
They did. They insured over 13.5 million farmers this year.
That's amazing.
Huge number. Really shows that they're not just focused on those urban markets, they're really understanding the needs of rural India.
Makes sense, given how important agriculture is here.
Absolutely. It's completely in line with the IRDAI's vision, insurance for all by 2047.
I've heard about that.
They're really pushing for more people to have access to insurance, especially in those underserved segments like agriculture.
Now let's switch gears a bit and talk wealth management.
Okay, interesting area.
Bajaj Finserv Mutual Fund, that's their key player here.
Right.
They're aiming to become a full-stack AMC, asset management company,
Offering a variety of products.
trying to attract a wider range of investors. What's interesting to me is their approach to investment. They're using behavioral finance. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, it's all about recognizing how our emotions and biases can impact our money decisions.
So it's not just about, throwing money at something. There's a real thought process behind it.
Yeah, a sophisticated strategy, targeting a specific type of investor.
Someone who's looking for a bit more.
Exactly. They want more insight, a more nuanced approach to managing their wealth.
All right, so we've covered lending, we've talked insurance, and wealth management.
Big areas.
Now let's get into their digital game. Are they keeping up?
Are they walking the walk?
Are they truly embracing the future or just kind of playing catch up?
Good question.
What do you think?
Well, I think they're definitely making moves. They're using new technologies like Gen AI, cloud optimization, even dabbling in augmented reality.
To really improve the customer experience.
Make it seamless, easy to use.
For example, Bajaj Finserv Health. Have you heard of that?
I have. It's their digital platform.
It's all about trying to streamline healthcare.
You got your doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, insurance providers, all connected.
All in one place.
Simplifying healthcare.
It can be so complicated.
Absolutely.
And then there's the Farmitra app. This one is really interesting.
This one's for the farmers, right?
Specifically for
Well,
farmers.
it has a lot of downloads.
Over 0.92 million.
Wow.
So clearly, they're hitting a nerve, offering something that's really tailored to their needs.
A digital solution.
And here's another thing. BFL has gotten a ton of account aggregator consents.
So they're using data, right?
Yes, harnessing the power of data to really personalize financial solutions.
So think custom loan offers, Credit scoring, risk assessments, all tailored to the individual.
All based on your data.
It's data-driven decision-making.
That's the future.
In today's financial landscape, you have to stay ahead of the curve. That's how you do it.
That's a really good point. But all this digital stuff is great, but are they managing risks effectively?
Yeah, that's the key. You can get carried away with all these new technologies.
Shiny new toys.
Exactly. But you got to be responsible. Cost efficiency, risk mitigation. Are they doing that?
Are they walking the walk?
I think they are. They've got a solid framework in place for capital allocation and risk management.
So it's not just about making a quick buck. It's about sustainable growth.
Long-term vision.
And transparency. That's got to be important.
Absolutely. They seem committed to strong corporate governance, doing things ethically.
And they've got the Risk Management Committee, the RMC.
That's right. They play a crucial role in identifying and mitigating those potential risks.
That's got to give investors confidence.
It does. It's a major factor in their strong financial performance.
Speaking of performance, how are they doing against the competition? What's their market share like?
Well, they're doing pretty well, especially in lending and insurance. They've got good brand recognition, customer loyalty. They're thriving.
Not just survival.
Exactly. And it's not just about short-term gains. They're really focused on long-term value for their shareholders.
They've got a good dividend payout policy, too, which investors love.
Keeps them happy.
So, before we move on, what stood out to you so far? Is it the growth, the financial inclusion, the digital stuff?
It's a lot to take in.
What's really piqued your curiosity?
Take a moment to think about what's resonated with you the most. What are you most curious about in Bajaj Finserv's journey?
We'll be right back after a short break. Okay, so we've talked about all these strategies and initiatives, but let's get down to brass tacks. Let's look at the numbers.
The financials.
Yeah. How did all this translate into actual performance in FY 2024?
Well, keep in mind, Bajaj Finserv, they're a holding company, right?
Right.
So their financials, they're like a reflection of how well their subsidiaries are doing. It's all connected.
So kind of like a big picture view.
Exactly, a consolidated view.
Give me the highlights. What were the big takeaways?
All right, so for FY 2024, Bajaj Finserv reported a consolidated total income, get this, 89,024.15 crore. That is a massive jump from the previous year, 65,263.26 crore in FY 2023. We're talking about a growth of over 36%. That's impressive.
That's huge. That's not just growth. That's like a surge.
It's definitely significant growth.
Was this across all their segments, or were there any particular, stars of the show?
It was a pretty strong performance across the board.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Bajaj Finance Limited, the lending arm, obviously a major contributor. Their interest income really went up.
Right.
And Bajamp and Balic, the insurance companies, they also had a good year. Their premium income grew quite a bit.
So they're growing revenue. That's clear.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the bottom line? Did all this translate into profits?
Oh, absolutely. Profitability was strong.
Give me the numbers.
Their profit after tax for FY 2024 reached 15,595.36 crore, up from 12,209.54 crore the year before.
That's a pretty healthy jump.
It is. It shows they're running things efficiently. Their strategy is working.
So they're growing revenue, they're increasing profits, and they're doing all this while, really promoting financial inclusion.
They've got a good thing going.
Okay, let's zoom in a little bit on the lending segment, because we know that's a big driver of their overall performance.
Bajaj Finance Limited, right, BFL.
BFL, and they've been, really expanding their loan book.
Aggressively growing.
Yeah. So what does that actually look like in terms of, numbers?
Well, by the end of FY 2024, BFL's loan book had grown to over 326,000 crore. That's a lot of loans.
That's a lot of money.
And this was driven by, strong demand across different loan categories.
Oh, wow.
Everything, consumer loans, personal loans, business loans, mortgages, you name it.
So they're really, reaching a broad market, providing credit to folks who maybe wouldn't have had access before.
Filling a gap, absolutely. And especially catering to, new to credit borrowers, people who are just entering the financial system. It is. It's a key differentiator for them. It sets them apart in a very competitive market.
Okay, let's switch gears again and talk about insurance.
All right, Bajaj and Balic.
Tell me about their performance.
They both did well. They saw some really strong premium growth in FY 2024.
And what do you think were the main drivers behind that? Was it new products, or did they just get better at reaching customers?
Well, for Bajaj, their focus on farmer insurance, definitely played a big role. Remember we talked about how many farmers they insured?
13.5 million, right?
Yep, that's a significant chunk of their premium income.
It's a massive market, so it makes sense.
Huge potential there.
What about Belgic?
They benefited a lot from their strong agency network, and their distribution is really wide. They're all over the country, over 500 branches.
Wow.
Yeah, they're in a good position to capture growth, both in cities and rural areas.
They're everywhere.
But it's important to note they're not just growing for the sake of growing, they're doing it responsibly.
You mean managing risk?
Exactly. They're being careful about underwriting, making sure they're not taking on too much risk.
Which is crucial in finance. You know, you can't just be reckless.
Absolutely. It's about finding that balance, growth, and prudence.
Bajaj Finserv seems to have a good track record there, which is, reassuring.
Definitely contributes to their long-term sustainability.
Okay, we've covered lending. We've talked insurance. What about wealth management? How did Bajaj Finserv Mutual Fund do in FY 2024?
Right. Their newer segment.
Yeah, I'm curious about this one because it's, relatively new for them compared to the other two.
Well, the report doesn't go into too much detail about specific numbers for wealth management,
Okay.
but it does emphasize their goal of becoming a full-stack AMC, remember?
Offering a wider range of products, right?
Exactly, and they're really pushing their behavioral finance approach.
Which makes them stand out.
Yeah, it's a differentiator in a crowded market.
So they're laying the groundwork for growth in this area.
Absolutely. Wealth management, it's still early days for them, but it's got a lot of potential.
So let's just take a step back for a moment. Big picture. We've seen impressive revenue growth, good profits, strong performance in lending and insurance, and a strategic push in wealth management.
A lot going on.
What does all this tell us about, Bajaj Finserv's overall strategy?
I think it's pretty clear they're aiming to be a one-stop shop for financial services in India.
For everyone.
Exactly. All segments, they're using technology, expanding their reach, tailoring their products.
So they're creating like a financial ecosystem.
Yeah, you could say that, meeting all their customers' needs under one roof.
And don't forget their commitment to financial inclusion. That's woven into everything they do.
It's a core part of their strategy.
They're not just catering to, the wealthy. They're reaching out to underserved communities.
Empowering millions to participate in the formal financial system.
That's a powerful combination. Financial strength, a clear vision, and a sense of social responsibility.
Yep.
Before we move on to their social impact initiatives, I'm curious, what's really stood out to you from their financial performance?
Take a moment to think about it. Is it the growth rate? The diversity of their revenue streams? Maybe their approach to risk management?
What really sparked your interest? It's pretty amazing how Bajaj Finserv is really making social impact a part of their business,
Yeah, it's not just some side project for them.
It's really integrated.
It's part of their DNA.
And the scale is impressive.
It's huge. They've pledged 5,000 crore over 5 years
Wow.
through Bajaj Beyond, their social impact initiative.
That's a serious commitment.
They're not messing around. They want to make a real difference.
So let's talk about some of the areas they're focusing on. We touched on skill development earlier.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of emphasis on that.
Why is that so important to them?
They see it as crucial for empowering young people, giving them the tools they need to succeed.
And contribute to the economy.
Exactly. Fuel India's growth.
So what are they doing specifically?
Well, they've got this program, the Bajaj Finserv Certificate Program in Banking, Finance, and Insurance, CPBFI for short.
Catchy.
They're working with over 410 colleges across 22 states.
That's a big reach.
They're not just focused on their own workforce, they're trying to build a pipeline of talent for the whole industry.
So it's kind of a long-term vision?
Absolutely. Investing in the future.
What kind of impact have they had so far?
They've already helped over 53,000 students through this program.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're also partnering with some big organizations, the National Skill Development Corporation,
Right.
NSDC,
Right.
and the All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE.
Those are some serious players.
It shows they're serious about creating a robust skill development ecosystem.
So it's not just about training, it's about creating opportunities.
Yeah, giving young people the skills they need to get jobs, start businesses, become financially independent.
Like a ripple effect.
Exactly. It benefits everyone.
Okay, let's move on to another area, child health and well-being.
They're doing some great work there.
It's interesting to see a financial services company prioritize that.
It shows they care.
They're not just about profits.
It's about social responsibility.
What are some of their initiatives in this area?
Well, they're tackling a whole range of issues: heart conditions, cancer, cleft lip, and palate.
They're really trying to make a difference in children's lives.
Absolutely.
Is there a specific project that stands out to you?
Their Maha Smiles project is pretty incredible. They've provided cleft care to over 34,253 children.
That's a lot of kids.
It's giving them a chance at a healthier, happier life.
That's amazing.
And their work goes beyond child health. They're supporting education, child protection, even advocating for people with disabilities.
So it's a very holistic approach.
They're trying to cover all the bases.
And they're not just throwing money at the problem, right?
No, they're partnering with grassroots organizations, making sure their efforts are sustainable.
That's important.
For example, they've supported over 171,908 persons with disabilities.
It's really about creating a more inclusive society.
Exactly.
Now, they're not stopping there. They're also promoting sustainability, right?
Yeah, they've got 138 windmills in Maharashtra generating green energy.
So they're thinking about the environment, too.
It's all part of their commitment to a better future.
It's impressive to see a company that's doing well financially, but also prioritizing social and environmental responsibility.
They're proving that you can do both.
So there you have it, folks.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We talked about Bajaj Finserv's financials, their digital initiatives, their risk management, and their commitment to making a positive impact.
It's been a fascinating deep dive.
They're not just changing the financial landscape, they're changing lives.
They're definitely a company to watch.
And as we wrap up, here's something for you to think about. As Bajaj Finserv keeps growing, what role do you think they'll play in India's future and its economic and social development?
What new frontiers will they explore?
Keep those questions in mind and keep exploring.
Until next time. Bye for now.